Not one drop's coming out of this car.
And if it does, I quit. I'll sell it to one of you guys. This is horrendous. That is our problem.
One person can have it. What happened?
Got in my mouth. Alright, what's going on, everybody? We're back for another video, and today is the day we're finally going to be addressing all the issues and leaks that this car has really been giving us. We haven't really had the time to enjoy it because it's just been every time we drive we're getting loss of oil pressure lights or getting warnings. Every time we come back there's puddles on the ground. So today's just going to be kind of the day we're going to see what's going on and try and fix it. We ordered a bunch of stuff, different parts that we're going to replace, and hopefully those solve the issue. So let's have some fun and let's get at it.
Alright guys, so as you know, GTIs love burning oil. This one does burn oil indeed, but it actually leaks a lot of oil as well. So that's part of the reason we're doing what we're doing today. We've been having a lot of oil leak issues and we're not exactly sure where it's coming from. So like Austin stated, we ordered a bunch of parts, and it's going to pretty much replace a ton of gaskets and brake clean the living hell out of this engine block and make sure it's nice and clean, and hope, cross our fingers, these leaks are good to go and gone.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what he's saying, we're not really sure where it's coming from. I know that sounds like we're not very technical savvy, but if you go under there, it is just covered. I mean, we have an idea of where it's coming from, but we got one part which we're going to replace where we know it's definitely coming from, but we believe it's coming from multiple different areas because it's just covered down there. So in order to really pinpoint it, we're going to swap these gaskets on, which we actually got from ECS Tuning. So if you guys need any Audi, Volkswagen, whatever German automotive parts, definitely click down below. There's a link and it'll take you to their website. Very cool guys, very affordable prices, best in the business. But yeah, we got a bunch of gaskets that we're just kind of going to put on because this thing is leaking like a sieve. Like every time we're adding at least 2 quarts. Yeah, like we've been getting oil pressure lights on the dash because there's just no oil in it. I know that sounds very bad, but it's just hard to keep up with it. So we're gonna just get at it. The first thing we're gonna be doing is up top right here. We have, it's not really the main issue, but it was leaking. We figured we might as well get it. Is the valve cover gasket and then the timing cover gasket. So we'll get to those. But if you guys want a step-by-step, we have a bunch of videos on our channel previously of how to remove these. But this is going to be more of a vlog style. We're going to try something different. Wes and I are going to be talking at the same time, kind of just grinding and having some fun with it. If you guys like that, let us know and we'll continue to vlog kind of thing. Something different for us, Oh
yeah, exactly.
But whatever you guys want to see, we'll provide. So as you saw by that wonderful B-roll that Wes behind the camera just put together for you guys, we got a bunch of those T30s off. As you can see, it's kind of leaking here as well. It's pretty wet. I think we did brake clean it when we first got it just to get the majority of the way. So it's definitely had its time coming. But yeah, we just got 2 more little connectors there. And then those 2 bolts and that thing will come out. But enough of me boring you guys on how to do the very basic valve cover. What do you guys want to see to this car? I mean, we have the ECS Tuning intake, we did the throttle charge pipe, we did the intercooler piping, and then of course we did the turbo muffler delete, etc. But right now we don't have the funding to really go big turbo. Is there anything that you guys want to see that's different but affordable in a way?
Well, what I want to hear is this car, the exhaust is way too restricting. So
very true. I know we got a price quote on the one by ECS Tuning, which we might do, but we also got this handy dandy guy right here. This little welder. Wes is welding certified, or what is it?
I don't even have a certificate. I just
well,
know
he
how
took
to
a
do
couple courses.
some basic welding.
Yeah, so you know, if you guys want to see us get ratchet and weld up an exhaust, I think that'd be kind of fun. But might not turn out the best. But hey, ratchet wrenches. What do you know? That's our name.
Yeah, but I would definitely say for this car, exhaust. You know, with Austin's old white GTI. Your setup on the exhaust again?
I had a USP Motorsports Cat-It downpipe with an AWE catback. We definitely got to do a downpipe, but we're kind of waiting because I know a bunch of tuning companies took away stage 2 because of the EPA restrictions, so probably won't do a downpipe. We'll probably just go straight to stage 3 with a bigger turbo and then obviously do the downpipe then. But if we put a downpipe right now, we would want to go stage 2 just to, you know, make sure that downpipe works as it should, because the whole point of that is to free up the flow and get to go stage 2. But right now with the EPA restrictions, that's not very plausible.
Yeah. But yeah, comment down below. Obviously exhaust is on the list, bigger turbo, that's a little ways down the line. Don't have the funding quite yet for that, but little things we're always down for. We're going to do the headliner.
Oh yeah.
If you watched our first video,
we're showing that. Look how.
Yeah, if you watched the first video,
take this. Show them how horrible that is.
Yeah, I'll show you the notorious headliner sag.
It sagged on my previous one. Sags on the majority of them. Unfortunately, from factory, these cars use way too much material, so they end up sagging. So we were thinking about reupholstering it ourselves like I did on my previous one. Unfortunately, we never filmed it, so we'll film it this time. Any color suggestions or anything like that?
We could go the classic Volkswagen, like plaid.
Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, no, seriously. But that's definitely, you know, coming up. That's a cheap solution and quite fun.
But enough of those jibber jabbering, let's get back to it. Man, that thing was freaking on there, dude. But we got the valve cover off finally. These were a royal, where's my finger? Royal pain to get off. Doesn't help, it's like 40 degrees in here.
Yeah, so we finally got it off.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's the consensus here?
It's kind of flattened here, which would make sense because that's kind of where it was leaking. But it was definitely leaking here and here. So we got our new one here, which we'll get to in a second. We got to clean up this surface here and get everything nice and clean so we have a smooth mating surface. We'll check that out too when we get this off, and we'll kind of just do a bunch of inspection kind of things and make sure everything's good to go.
Dude, I'm so fed up with this one bolt. We've been working all day. I didn't have my coffee this morning. I'm tired, I'm dehydrated, I don't know what to do.
Well, dude, did you have your liquid IV?
What's that? Ow! What's liquid IV?
Dude, all you gotta do is open and pour in a bottle of water.
Really? That's it?
It's as simple as that.
Let's fire this powder in there. Even smells good. Alright, that's it. And then just give it a little shake. See how this is. Ooh, lemon lime? That's good stuff. But in all seriousness, we actually just partnered up with Liquid IV. They're an awesome company. Fun fact, 3 out of 4 people experience daily dehydration, which is honestly mind-blowing. And this stuff gives you a quick pick-me-up, keeps you hydrated throughout the day. Tastes good. They have tons of flavors. We got berry here, we got pineapple, lemon, lime, and they have a plethora of other good flavors on their website, so definitely go check them out. We use this stuff all the time, day to day, and I'm working on cars. It's really helpful. You know, just dump a packet in a water bottle and chug it and you're good to go. So head over to liquidiv.com, apply our discount code ratchet_wrenches. You'll get 20% off and then free shipping as well, or we'll provide a link down in the description of this video. If you click that, take you right to the website. It'll do the 20% off plus the free shipping, and it's the best of both worlds. So get your Liquid IV while you can and stay hydrated. Alright, as you can see, we got this mating surface nice and cleaned up, so gonna have no leaks right there. Austin got the gasket on, freshy gasket. The other one was hard as a rock.
Yeah. Just get this cleaned up a little bit, and we'll put it back on. And
What's next, boss? What are we doing?
we'll probably do the intake manifold gasket.
Yeah.
The reason we're going to be taking that off is, one, we'll see if there's any carbon buildup there and clean it up if need be. But the major leak that's coming from down below is a lot easier to get with that manifold off, which we'll do just to make life easier without a lift. So get this all cleaned up, get this on, and we'll go from there. All right, so we got the valve cover back on. We're gonna leave the PCV valve off. We did do a new gasket last time we replaced it, which was maybe like a month or two ago, so we're not worried about that. Now we're gonna remove this intake manifold and see what's going on. This is gonna be a little more tricky. I do have a step-by-step, like I mentioned earlier, video which I'll link up above on how to remove this and do the intake valve cleaning. But right now we're just kind of gonna time lapse this because we're just gonna tackle both of us and get it out of the way. It's gonna be a lot of connectors, some fueling. So make sure we just started our car, so we'll have a little bit of fuel in here, which we'll just put a rag and catch it all. Make sure no smoking of cigarettes, anything like that. You don't want to go bye-byes.
Cigars.
Yeah, exactly. But pretty much we're gonna have to remove the throttle body, and actually the brand new ECS piping that we put on, we'll have to remove that, the charge pipe. And we'll get these off. They're held in by 4 bolts down low. There's a bracket which connects it to, that holds this to the block, which we're going to remove and not put back on because it's a pain in the ass. And should be it. We might pull some injectors out with it. We'll see what it wants to do today. Gotta get this guy off, a couple lines, and that's just me rambling. So let's just get right to it. All right, guys. Wes is over here struggling.
Dude.
I hate how this throttle body is. The 4 bolts that connect it to the intake manifold are on the underside, and it's all by feel. There's no way to really see it, so we got him struggling away over here.
Yeah.
But other than that, those are the only 4 bolts that are holding the throttle body in, and then we have that bracket that holds it to the block, which we have to remove, and then this thing's ready to come out. Yeah, there's some miscellaneous lines and whatnot, but yeah, we're just cranking along, and then we'll be able to get access to the thing that we really need to replace, and then there's a couple other things, and this should be all buttoned up, and we'll be able to take it for a spin. So stay with us.
What we got going on here?
The last piece of the puzzle for this throttle body, man.
Dude, this thing was a pain.
It's just a nightmare to get those last bolts. This one's hanging on by a thread. That's gotta feel it out and line it up, but come on.
This is the type of stuff where it really questions if you enjoy working on cars or not.
Literally. Who would have ever thought 4 bolts would be so freaking difficult? Thing is, you don't have to do this if you have that bracket off. And most people, when they get a throttle body cleaning or, you know, intake carbon cleaning, most technicians don't put it back on for this exact reason.
I don't blame them.
Speaking from working at Volkswagen for years and multiple different, you know, dealers and stuff like that, most people don't put it back on.
Quick tip though, we did this one from the top, the front one, right?
Yeah, you get
That
a couple
one
of them from the top, and
We
then
did from the bottom, the back
Yeah.
one. This one from the bottom.
with our super long
Extension.
extension over here, and we had that one on there as well. So,
Yeah,
last
get this
piece of the
off,
puzzle.
Be able to take the intake manifold off, right?
Yeah, there's a couple other miscellaneous that we gotta do, but this will give us that access to that.
Alright, we'll let Austin struggle.
I'm
Another
so out
20
of
minutes,
breath.
And then we'll we'll get
And
back
this
to it.
cardboard sliding. Jeez Louise, man.
Fun stuff.
It's good stuff. Gotta love working on a car on your day off. Gotta love it.
Oh, I love it.
I already do it at 9 to 5, and then here it is on the weekend.
There it is.
Stupid thing. This is pretty clean. There's a little build up there, but we'll be able to clean that off.
Yep.
All right. And there's that bracket right there.
More room for
Let me get the
activities.
flashlight.
Oh, yeah, I think I see it right there.
There's that bracket right there,
Yep.
and right there. F that bracket. See
F
that?
that bracket.
Focus on that.
Yep.
Focus
We're
on
focused.
that. F that bracket.
You did?
That's how I feel about this. We broke a hose. Lovely. We'll have to. Luckily, that's just going to the PCV valve. We'll be able to tape that up for the meantime, and buy a new one. We had to remove the high pressure fuel pump because it was having clearance issues, but we finally got this thing out.
Yes,
What a
sir.
nightmare. We got a new gasket, a little bit of some carbon built up there. The cylinders aren't that bad, actually. I was like, oh, I gotta get that leak that I just pushed in there. Yeah, I'll get that out. But the walls aren't that built up, which is pretty good. The valves, pretty clean. There's some debris in there, which we'll just remove, no problem. But like I said, I think this was, it's got 176 on the body, but this engine should only have,
It's like
I think it was like 90.
Right?
So I'm kind of glad that it's not too built up. So we're good there. All the injectors stayed put. I'm glad about that. What we're going to be replacing is this guy down here. This is the oil filter housing assembly. And of course the oil cooler goes up here. We're going to be transferring the old one onto this because it is leaking like a sieve from that. So you don't have to remove this to do this. But we got gaskets for this and we want to clean up that upstairs area, the upper area. So we went ahead and did that as well. But this you can access from the bottom. This just gives us a lot more clearance to actually see what we're doing and provide filming for you guys. So we're gonna have to transfer over the oil cooler assembly onto here. We're gonna have to drain the coolant, drain the oil, and then we'll be able to clean up that area and put this bad boy on, take the leak one out, throw that straight in the trash. Clean this guy up as well. Clean up the mating surface and just kind of make everything nice and neat. Maybe do a little carbon cleaning. We'll probably do that off camera if anything. And just keep going. Probably go get some food because we were starving.
Dude, I'm so hungry.
Yeah, I gotta pee. It smells like fuel in here. Probably dying little by little and we don't even know it. Yeah. But we're gonna get some food. So when we get back, we're gonna eat. I'm giving you a play-by-play. I don't know why. But when we get back, we're gonna eat the food, and you won't even see that part, and you'll see us in 2 seconds. So yeah, the next thing we gotta do is drain the oil, drain the coolant, and we'll be able to get that housing out of the way. It's held in by a couple bolts, some some Torx bits, and then the oil cooler. There's a line going to that. We've just got to remove some stuff that's just going to make it easy, easier to get it out. So let's get cranking on that. Let's drain the oil and then the coolant.
Yeah, I wonder how many liquid IVs one person can have. What happened?
Got in my mouth.
You're having a bad day.
All right, where's goggles? Alright, so this started off as a fun vlog. Now it's getting a little more intensive. Did not want to get so labor intensive on the weekend, but here we are. Like I said, if you didn't remove the intake manifold, you wouldn't have access to this above and you'd be doing it all from below, but we want to go from above as well. So we took the intake manifold off, and this is the part we're trying to get off right here, this little cooler assembly. There's 4 bolts. We got 2 off. They're T40s, but there's this freaking bracket in the way, and the last bolt goes into here, and it's from right under there, and I really don't know how to get it with this bracket, and this bracket's held in by that bolt, so there's no way to really get under it as well because this is too thick. So we're gonna have to kind of manipulate it and figure out how to do that. But we got the one off on the bottom, We also got this line out of the way. This was like a little coolant bypass. We disconnected that from the hose clamp. We're just kind of trying to get as much access as we can. Realistically, we want to get this out of the way, but we can't because it's bolted in. Got some wire harness here too. We gotta get out of the way. Then the last piece that holds that cooler in is this hose right here, which is a coolant line. So we'll get that off, which is held in by a clamp. This one out, we got one on the bottom, there's one more over here, and then this one. I really don't know how the hell we're gonna get that. I might say screw the bracket, because the bracket only holds this in place. This goes on that nut and holds that. We gotta somehow maybe bend it a little bit. I really don't know. But this is turning into a
fun Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Not that it's the worst case scenario, we'll get it done regardless, but damn. So this was that bracket that was holding in. This bolt was under there, and this we just bent up. As you can see, it took a nice 45 angle up, but it was completely flat, and you couldn't get a socket, a T40 in between there and this cooler. So we had to take some pliers and bent it up, and we'll just bend that back down after. But man, what a stupid design. That was really dumb. That was extremely dumb. Just kind of mocking it up here so we know what went where, and this bracket went through there. Now we just got to get that bottom one, which hopefully isn't too hard, but looks like we're gonna have some clearance. They kind of beveled it out a little bit to get that last one. And then just that hose, and that thing should come out, and it'll probably leak some coolant. So we got our little bin under there. But man, what a stupid design. And I love Audis and Volkswagen, but yeah. So we managed to get that last bolt off. Now the only thing that's holding that little cooler in is just the gasket that made its own seal. It's probably gonna leak some coolant. There she goes, right into the pan. So we're gonna remove that out. And that gives us access to this last little hose, which we just have to disconnect right there. Should have brought my hose clamp pliers, but I didn't. Just keep in mind, you might have to reuse this if your kit doesn't come with it. Ours we bought separate. This usually doesn't fail. It's usually the gasket that fails, so there's no sense of buying a new one of this. So we're just gonna reuse that one, clean it up with some Scotch-Brite, and you know, put it back on the new one. And I'm gonna need your hands, Wes, so camera down. All right, so we just managed to get those 4 screws out here. Man, I can't stress enough, it was a pain in the ass, but this thing's finally loose. And you can see all the gunk that we just leaked, but there was actually a lot of this prior to us leaking. This is why we're replacing this, because it was leaking like a sieve. But we're gonna have to kind of maneuver that down. Oh, gotta get this sensor off right here. There's a temperature sensor.
It is an absolute mess. The socket is just wrecked for getting these.
This is what we're dealing with. Tight quarters.
Very tight quarters. Buy a Volkswagen, they said.
Yeah, it'd be fun, they said. And I just can't imagine. I know a lot of people do this. Obviously, they have a lift when they do this, but they do it from the bottom without anything up top. And I don't know, that just doesn't seem fun, let alone practical.
Yeah.
But I know it's doable. Just, I think I would rather do it from above. It just gives you that much more clearance. Now I'm gonna pull that thing out from the bottom somehow.
You got your safety glasses, boss?
Yeah, they're on. Just kidding. I should have them on.
Oh, there's that hard line there.
Oh my god, dude, I can't even grip it. It's so slippery. That's what she said, but I can't even pull it. I literally can't. Guys, this is horrendous. That is our problem.
Dear Lord.
Some of it obviously just came out now from removing it, but
yeah,
you could see it was catching on that lip there. It was just actively leaking. The gasket definitely failed on this thing.
Oh, 100%. It's hard to show, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, the gasket.
Is it even there?
It's there, but it's worn out. You can tell.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to clean. Oh my god, I don't even want to look at it. You don't even understand how it's a mixture of coolant, obviously, and then the oil is just such a grimy Ugh, feeling. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. But yeah,
What's
we're gonna
make your day 10 times better?
some brake clean.
All right, let's get cleaning. Just doing some casual shaving over here, you know. Stuff's working good.
Yeah, we got
Eating that gunk up.
holes plugged. We got our, what is it?
A little super clean.
Super clean. Shout out to the sponsor back in the day.
Yep, this stuff's good.
But we're just gonna let that eat up all this grease and gunk and oil and coolant.
Yep.
And go from there. I went ahead and cleaned up the mating surface for this cooler here. Got that all clean. Now it's gonna switch over the valve right there, the little sensor, and put it on this guy. And then while he's cleaning that, we should be able to go to the next step after that.
What's going on over here?
Oh, getting up close and personal. Just admiring and kind of looking over how clean it is. And obviously in here it's not clean, but that's all gonna be oiled up because that's where it's coming from, the feeds. But it's very sandy for some reason. I don't know if someone took it off-roading.
All-terrain tires did a lot of off-roading.
Exactly. But no, this looks good. We cleaned up down low, got up here. Now it's just kind of button everything up together. I am gonna Scotch-Brite this a little bit more, and now we're just gonna throw the assembly back on, then the cooler, then the lines, and then we gotta do this. I think we're gonna hold off on the oil pan for right now. I think honestly the leak was coming from that housing and just trickling down under or like on the oil pan and just finding its way to the lowest point. So I think we're gonna hold off onto that. We'll probably do that another day if the leaking persists. We do have our genuine Volkswagen silicone RTV, whatever you want to call it. So we're just gonna do the oil cooler housing and filter housing, and we'll put the manifold back on, PCV valve, coolant in the system, oil in the system, intake back on, and get this thing fired up because we've been at this for far too long. I mean, that little segment that you guys didn't see, we did off camera, we're cleaning this thing up for a good 45 minutes, give or take. So kind of want to get the job done today. So we're gonna start doing that right now. All right, so we're slowly but surely getting there. We just gotta get this clamp on here, but the filter housing and the cooler assembly is one. Now it's just kind of doing the reverse procedure of everything that we did to get to this point. So we're gonna put that clamp back on there and make sure no coolant leaks in there like swimwear. Got a whole bunch of connectors. Hopefully I remember which goes what. Just kidding, I do. I don't want nothing to leak.
Not one drop's coming out of this car.
And if it does, I quit. I'll sell it to one of you guys.
Yep.
For top dollar. All right, so all the connectors are buttoned up. We got a bunch of loose ones that just go onto the manifold itself. Now we got our new gasket in there, nice and shiny. We're just gonna line this bad boy back up. Also, just side note, when you take off this manifold, you have to make sure that the O-rings stay on the injectors. Two of mine were stuck in the injector housings and they were crooked, completely sideways. So if I didn't notice and I were to put this in, install it, we'd have an injector leak and we have to do this all over again. So make sure to take them out of those housings and put them on the little ring that they sit on. Really, you're supposed to put new injectors in, or new injector gaskets and stuff like that, but we're just gonna send it this way and hope for the best. But now it's just a matter of lining this puppy up. And you see we were able to put the throttle body on now since we're not using that bracket anymore, which would be right here. We don't need to worry about taking that off and putting that on next or beforehand or whatever, but this should just slide right in. That was almost too easy. There is, as you can see, there's two studs right here. Those just have to line up in those bottom two holes, which is the hardest part of this whole process, but I got that one in. Now I gotta figure out how to get that one in. Man, we're running out of daylight here. I'm so sorry. But we're gonna...
Running out of battery life.
Yeah, that too. And we'll just start cranking.
6.5 hours later.
Alright guys, we are beat, but we finally got this thing on all fours. She's sitting pretty.
Now we just gotta kind of put the finishing touches together.
Yep.
Get the intake, all set up. Put oil in the system. Put coolant in the system. bleed the coolant system, get all those air bubbles out, get it nice and warm, and then we'll be able to take this for a drive. And in theory, it shouldn't leak. And I'm gonna stand by that theory and hope that is true. But just kind of buttoning up the last little steps. We're kind of gonna film putting all that back together. We had the time lapse and then some other things, but it really wasn't worth it. And I think we're just so defeated.
So yeah, we'll button the intake up, fill it with oil, coolant, and I guess we'll start it on camera, might as well.
Yeah. Alright, so we just put some oil in, we put some coolant in, but now we gotta get the car on to cycle the coolant through to determine how much more we need to add. So we're gonna open up the winter air. Turn this puppy on, make sure no leaks, and then we'll be able to watch the coolant go down and put more in there. And then when you start it up, just crank the heat on full. It's gonna probably struggle to start because we gotta get fuel in the high pressure fuel pump. Normal. Let it, yep, you're good. Let it keep going. Watch that go down, but no misfires, no fuel leaks. Alright, we'll continue to bleed it, and then we'll come back to you guys in a little bit.
Alright, really opened up. Let me know when.
Okay, you're good.
A few inches later.
Alright guys, the coolant system is bled, everything's ready to go. We're going to take this thing for a test drive, see how it holds up, pull it back in here, make sure there's no leaks, call it a day, and on to the next video. So let's go for a ride. Alright guys, we finally got this thing up and running.
Oh yeah, it feels
Take
good.
first spin. Sorry for the lighting, it's pure darkness out.
Pretty horrific. Damn, it feels good to just
Be able to
drive this thing.
man. Forgot about the turbo noises we got now.
Yeah. It's up to operating temp.
Probably have to add some coolant when we get back, but
Yeah.
right now
Crack the
feels
windows
good.
a little bit.
Get that turbo noise.
Make sure it's not a cop. Oh yeah, she moves.
This thing is fun, man.
Yeah, it's so low to the ground now on the ECS Tuning coilovers. It
This
just
thing will
plants
not
it.
focus on you
Oh no.
at all. Hope the camera and the microphone pick up that little whoosh noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I wonder if it's better with the windows up or down.
I think it's just too windy.
Oh yeah, you can really hear that on our end. Little turbo noises.
Yeah. Ever since we did that turbo muffler delete and all the charge piping and etc., that thing
Yeah.
really just woke up. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. We're gonna head back to the quote-unquote shop, and we'll see you guys in a sec. Alright guys, so that's gonna sum up today's video. We hope you enjoyed. This was a little different of a style. Let us know any feedback, positive, negative, it doesn't matter. Let us know how you felt about the style we went about filming it. But finally we got this thing leak-free. Now we can actually enjoy this car, make fun content with it, and let the modding begin, because we have a bunch of plans for this, GTI, and we hope to provide you guys with some awesome content now that it's up and running. But that's gonna end today's video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.